Okay, we're just doing Transformer thing. This is not a Transformer thing, though. We're editing together the footage. It's the 30th Transformers. But what I wanted to discuss, what I wanted to briefly touch on, was and make fun of Wonder Woman the movie in here, because apparently they were watching it, so the timeline. But that doesn't matter. What I want to discuss was what my idea for similar to a little similar to how Kevin Smith and Mark Bernard discussed the Wonder Woman movie in their blog, and some of them discussed it as well. Here's my idea for how that movie would have worked. Just thought I would throw it in there. Okay. It needed a script rewrite. Wonder Woman 84. Needed a script rewrite. And in your script rewrite, the main thing you want to do, because it's a little too long, is less Steve Trevor. But also, you want to do that weird idea of how he I guess it's a spoiler discussion, isn't it? Kind of more in depth into Wonder Woman 84. That the idea that he somehow inhabits someone else's body is weird. If the wishing stone it seems to have no logic. In its own logic, it has no logic. It can make walls. It can push the promised land away from the one guy, make a wall around him so he gets to be the other guy. It can do whatever randomly anywhere. Why would it possess somebody and then take them? Why would the other guy have absorbed it? That doesn't make sense either. He's Jafar, as someone else pointed out. That's just me. I want to be the genie. If they were trying to do, if they were trying to do the genie thing, then okay, they're trying to do a genie thing, and they're trying to do Thief of Baghdad, basically, with a little bit of 1001 Nights in it. Not necessarily Aladdin, but the Thief of Baghdad, which actually was the Shuri-Dadi tale. Okay, so if that's the case, if you want him to be the Thief of Baghdad and not an archetype for 80s version of Trump, not Trump now, 80s version before he was powerful, 80s version. That's clearly what he was supposed to be from the beginning. It's 80s version. But yeah, play up on that for one thing. My idea, okay, here's what happens. Steve Trevor comes out of thin air. He's not someone else that becomes him. He comes out of thin air. And what it is Steve Trevor is not Steve Trevor, and he's not from the Wishing Stone. He's actually a guardian that is sent by the gods, because she's the daughter of Zeus, right? She's clay. He's sent there to pretend to be him because as a guardian, so that he helps her out. So this is my idea how it should have worked. If you're going to do the fish out of water thing, that's why he doesn't know what's going on. Because he's not really Steve Trevor at all. It's just a guy who looks like him. He's a demigod. He's part of the thing. He may actually be a chick, actually, because it's from Themyscira, but maybe not. That would be interesting. The cheetah thing, she becomes the cheetah, and there's where I would do that. The possession. There's where I would do that. So there is an evil temptress that should have been added to the story that tempts her, because otherwise her jealousy doesn't make sense. So there's an evil version of the temptress, and it's part of the stone, and it shows up, and so we have this boss fight later on. That would have made more sense, even though it really doesn't. Just the nukes and all that. Don't do the Superman 4 thing with the nukes. That's dumb. It didn't go anywhere. Apocalypse kind of thing didn't go anywhere. I did like some of the jokes about the wishing doing whatever, but as some of the other reviewers, including I watched a bunch of reviews of it, including Angry Joe Rants, pointed out, people are generally, if people were given the right to wish on something instantly, they would wish for really stupid stuff. And there would be some people that would wish for somebody, a dead one, to come back from the dead, dead loved one or something, or they wish for the dead pet to come back or something. But most people would wish for dumb shit. They would have the dumb shit. So there'd be this, so the dumb stuff would be piling on like crazy. But it wouldn't be like world ending, it would just be dumb shit piling on. Because the whole thing in the third act doesn't make any sense. And if you haven't got the CG to do Cheetah right, don't. Yeah, the whole scene at the end with Cheetah being yeah, I don't know what they were doing. The last one they did kind of the same thing, and it was kind of the same thing in Suicide Squad as well. Is it like DC has decided the previous Suicide Squad? Yeah, not the new one that's being made, but the previous one. The last act, let's throw a bunch of stuff at the screen, but because we can't animate it correctly for some reason we don't know of, it was all right in Shazam, although it was a little dark in that one too. Little better. A little better in Aquaman as well. They had a little more color. You've made somebody with a glowing golden suit, which came out of nowhere, incidentally. As I mentioned earlier, it's Hera's suit, but she gets it. But Athena's suit. But how did she get it there? There are plot holes in this movie big enough to fly that jet through. There. So you have. Yeah, the other thing they pointed out was, like, he's supposed to be from World War One, and he can fly the jet. How would he know how to fly a jet? He's used to, like, essentially World War One biplanes. He would know nothing about that stuff at all. He would have no clue. In fact, the plane was the wrong kind into the World War One story. It was too advanced. Yeah, and her father, the writer's father, was allegedly, World War Two. Would have known. That's how you could get away with it, doing it there too. They should have said that Trevor was not Trevor. She kind of knows it isn't him. That should have happened. And that's actually a helper. And the helper person is like, which is still creepy, but at least it's not on her. It's the other person doing it. And and at one point, and through the movie, he should try to keep trying to tell her, I'm not really your ex-boyfriend. I'm really helper from the gods, and I'm here to stop the stone thing because there's like an evil version of me, and it wants to be all powerful, and it's going to infect your friend and stuff. So have that in there. Have that a little bit in there. Finally, they figure it out when they get to the plane scene. See, and he goes, "Well, of course I can fly the plane because I'm not Steve Trevor. I'm really a space god." So that's how he knows. There, that works, and he has to admit it. Yeah, I'm not really him. And then she could get mad at him a little bit. She could be like, "Hey, no, you should have said you were, a demigod, not really him." And then he should say back to her, snarkily, "Well, you should have been able to know. I mean, come on, you can't come back from the dead. This is not how it works. The stone takes something from you. That's not how it works." But if you want to stop the whole thing, you just denounce your wish, and all of it goes away because you were the first person to wish. So that should have been the ending of the movie, not the other ending, not the lassoing the guy, the rich guy. The rich guy thing could have been in there and all that, but he's also a trickster because it doesn't make sense that he isn't. So the trickster god guy goes to the trickster and he's in the other thing. That way you have a boss fight, but you have a boss fight that makes sense. You have Trevor doing things out in there because you've already established on the plane. So this is my idea for how they could have fixed it. So they already established that he's a guardian. He knows things, right? He's like right. He knows things. He's an imp, some kind of an imp. Yeah, sort of like a Q, but an imp. So that's what you do, and you have. That's how we could do the car chase, Indiana Jones ripoff car chase, Fast and the Furious scene, because he's a guardian. He has powers. She's losing her powers because the guardian guy's too close to her. And once he realizes that, he's like, okay, we're going to go to Washington, D.C. and stop the bad guy. And they go to Washington, D.C. to stop the bad guy. And some of the bad guys get away. So they got to have the big boss fight at the end. But you don't make the boss fight at the end murky. And certainly you're introduced to the armor. He brings the armor to her. He's like, oh, I can bring the armor to you. Bring the armor. We're going to need that. Going to need the armor. Okay. The evil lady device thing possesses her friend. That should be in there. And you don't know what you're doing. You're using the power of the thing, and that all that's in there. But don't make it murky and don't make it dark. Don't make her look like a reject from the Cats movie, as opposed to the play. Make her look cool. I also, Don't show it murky like you did in the movie because you can't tell what's going on. Also, the Mummy did that too, but that was that was Universal. It's weird. They just wanted to do this dark, witchy thing. Why was that dark? Why? Okay, show this fight scene. Two ladies fight. I'm thinking that their costumes looked like crap in the lights, so they had to cover it up. CG wasn't very good. It's pretty sad. Your Hollywood movie studio, your DC, your Warner Brothers, come on, get with the program. Yeah, these other movies, Marvel movies, Endgame is incredibly colorful. Even your own DC Justice League thing was made to look more colorful with the orange light in the background. Of course, Schneider wants to change that back to gray again, but yeah, there you go. Wonder Woman acts nothing like Wonder Woman from the previous story. Make her act more like Wonder Woman from the previous story. Make her look like the Wonder Woman from the current stories too. So she's sort of like in between, kind of. She's, she has to be edgier. She shouldn't be forlorn either. She should know that he's a guardian and that it's not really him, because then it makes more sense. There's my idea. So then when they get to the boss fight, the guardian fights the business dude, and she fights Cheetah. Then the guardian traps the business dude in the device. Whatever. Cheetah is defeated, and the friend gets out of the possession because the guardian guy sacrifices himself to get her out of there. And then that's his wish. He's gone. And then the thing comes back together. And then she says, well, the only way to get out of this is to renounce your wish. And it will make all the other wishes go away and prevent all of that other stuff from happening. So it's not the Superman Donner Cut ending. It's the Donner Cut version. The ending where the time reverses to that point. And you scoop back to like where they were, and just before she had the guardian. And then we're like, oh, okay, you fixed it. And that's when we get the cameo by Linda Carter, who shows up and goes like, yes, it was me all along. I sent you on this mission, and I was the good guy, and you released me from my prison, and I stopped the two bad guys, the bad guy lady and the bad guy, and yay, so I'm the genie. Yeah, I saved your butt. Thank me later, See, that would be like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. The time reverses so that there's no disaster. But irredeemable bad guy that went around and caused all that stuff to happen, even though he's reunited with his son at the end, and he's like, oh, okay, I got away with it. I'm like pardoned and rescued and everything. Ha ha. Totally did all this mean shit to people. All those people that he wronged in the Wish universe or whatever, they call him. and they're all like, well, you're under arrest, sir, because you tried to destroy the Earth. So you're under arrest and you're going to go to Arkham Asylum or something. Tie into Batman. I'm going to go to Arkham. And yeah, we have to arrest you. It's a cameo by Batman. Ben Affleck Batman. In '84. Actually, it's a cameo by Keaton Batman. And he's like, ha, you're under arrest, ha. And then throw everything off. Keaton Batman. Yeah. No, it could be Affleck Batman. It's just a younger version. It's the other one. Maybe that's a little too much. Okay, no Batman. But they could send him to Arkham. Because, yeah, he would go to Arkham. Meet up with the Joker. But yeah, because the Joker movie is in the same universe as this, apparently. But yeah, he should have had some comeuppance. It's like he just tried to destroy the world with his greed. He should have been at least done like Luthor going to jail or something at the end. At least something like that. At least Superman shows up or something. You can't just like end it like that. And there's my idea. Then it would have been a better movie. It would have been a better movie.